We are recording. We are doing it. We're going to do it live. I don't care what YouTube has to say. Greetings, humans. Greetings. And welcome back to another fun-filled episode. Bear here, 29-year veteran of the woods. Sometimes trying to figure out what the hell YouTube's trying to do. Anyways, great to have everyone here. Great to see Amy. Great to have VM here as well. Let me get all set up here and all turned around. People, there is a civil war in Russia. Yes, indeed. The one side's fighting the other side. They're sending a convoy up to old Moscow there. Gonna take out everybody that they can. Man, oh man, we're gonna enter in to a new world, people. A brand new world. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Hold on one second. Dateline Moscow, 3:03 a.m. The Civil War is off, people. I'm sorry, people. The Civil War has been concluded in Russia. If you are rooting for Putin, well, yeah, you got your wish out there. So there you go. World's shortest Civil War out there. So there we are with all of that. Luckily, thank goodness, all of our Russian bots can finally join hands together once again instead of being separated out there. Yes, indeed. Anyways, great to see Amy out here. Great to see VM. I hope. Pardon me here, people. 1 second. Let me do this. Test. Okay, it is working. Is it working? Let's see. 1 second here, people. Bear with to go get started here, and it all got messed up. Let's see. Is that working? That's working. Everything. Oh, thank God it's working. Yes, indeed. Except for our good friends at Warner Brothers, just completely falling on their face out there. There's a new movie out. The Flash was supposed to have the entire weekend to itself. It's supposed to have, the second weekend all by itself. Oh, Ezra Miller, glory be. He's going to be out there, and sure enough, Jennifer Lawrence just shows up and says, "Hey, I haven't been in a movie in 5 years. Let's see how it works." And apparently they're at number 1, people. Holy cow! Let's check it out. We go to our good friends here at Variety out there. J. Kim Murphy. Oh, what a great day. A box office, no hard feelings. Scores just a small $6.25 million. Flash falling to third out there. Third, not turd. Well, I guess it could fall to turd out there. No hard feelings. Came out on top of the domestic box office on its opening day, betting $6.25 million on Friday and Thursday preview screenings from 3,208 venues. Meanwhile, the top spot for the weekend is a battle between Elemental, which had been knocked out. I mean, it had a terrible weekend last weekend, and Spider-Man still hanging in there, still swinging along, as it were, out there. So, as staying above the Flash, which looks to be collapsing in its second outing. Heading into the weekend, Sony and Columbia's No Hard Feelings was projected to launch with a mild $12 million. The raunchy R-rated Jennifer Lawrence vehicle is already outrunning those estimates, now forecasting $15 million. So, I mean, a complete reversal out there. Everybody was saying, "Oh boy, The Flash, $125 million, easy, opening weekend." Maybe $75 million. Maybe $60 million. Ended up being $55 million. A R-rated comedy, which hasn't done the best in the past couple years. $15 million taking the top spot. No Hard Feelings may lose place to holdover as the weekend unfolds, but box office king for a day is certainly a higher honor than most studio comedies have achieved to date. The once prolific genre has fallen far from theatrical relevance in recent years. I tell you what, people, Bear is like this close, literally this close to, oh God, I don't want to write another screenplay. Believe Bear, he does not want to go there again. I'm always this close to doing a comedy. Almost this close to doing one. And by the looks of it, they seem to be coming back here. We'll see. With the past few months containing an expansive slate of box office disappointments and failures from The Machine. I don't think I've ever heard of that one. Easter Sunday, which I believe was it like a Puerto Rican or maybe a Filipino type movie out there, very niche, very niche. And of course, Bros. How dare they have Bros do terrible on Gay Pride Month, but Bros out there didn't do too well either. So I don't think that's a very good comparison. Very two niche sort of comedies as compared to the other two here, but or as opposed to No Hard Feelings, but we'll see. An A-list talent like Lawrence and some solid enough notices in the press are giving No Hard Feelings a lift above those genre peers. Audience buzz isn't bad either, as indicated by a B+ cinema score. Let's see, determined by surveying early viewers. But while the film is outperforming tempered expectations, it may still be an uphill climb for No Hard Feelings to turn a genuine profit because it cost $45 million. Woo! Holy cow. But still, not too bad out there. Meanwhile, things aren't coming up flash at the box office, but a bump after its disastrous opening weekend. By the way, if your disastrous opening weekend is $55.7 million, you probably spent way too much on your movie. The DC Comics multiverse matchup is getting kneecapped. They didn't pay their... They probably gambled too much and got like the old Nancy Kerrigan, just pow, took out the kneecaps in its second outing. Who is that? Tanya Harding? Man, oh man, we are going on the deep cuts there. The Warner Brothers Discovery release cratered. Holy cow, people, look at this. Look at this. $4.5 million on Friday. One of the biggest movies that they're going to put out. $4.5 million. That's down. We were talking the last time. We were talking, let's see, was it Deadline? I think it was Deadline that was saying, projections, for the Flash out there. Might be 50%, 60%. Man, oh man, it's going to do really terrible if it's down 70%. It is down 81%, people. Holy freaking cow. Man, oh man, 81%. From its opening day. That means a bad word about it. This is why Bear always tries not to jump on the train too early with opening weekends, because usually it takes about a week to kind of figure out how things kind of work out. But yeah, 81% is terrible, people. It is terrible. Once projected to retain its top spot on domestic charts, not anymore. The Flash will be lucky to stay one of top 3 releases in theater. A week-to-week drop north of 70% looks to be in cards. Yeah, it's 81%. Holy cow. That would notch higher than the 66% tumble that, again, they keep trying to compare the Green Lantern in 2011, rather. Apples and oranges here. Inflation for one, other things out there. So the 116 million isn't an apples to apples there. They keep trying to kind of compare it to it, but not easily comparable. Similar second weekend comic book collapses include last year's terribly reviewed Morbius. They need to come out with Morbius 2, Morbius time, and the Morose 2003 adaptation of The Hulk. Which fell 73.8%. The Hulk, man, oh man, that was like Ang Lee at like his peak there. Everybody was really thrilled with Hulk. Then it comes in to be like, this meditation on, loss and, all this other stuff. And it's like, that wasn't really the movie that we were really looking to go see. So, probably the same thing with The Flash. Everybody was looking forward to Michael Keaton out there, and we'll see. However, The Flash stacks up. It has little hope of justifying. They keep saying 200 million. Bears heard 300 million, 350 million. One of the most expensive movies Warner Brothers has ever produced. That doesn't even include P&A out there. So probably, if they say 200 million, figure P&A, let's just say another 100 out there, so 300 on the low end. On the low end. And it's only garnered about $87 million projected through this Sunday. After bombing in its opening weekend, Elemental maybe at least be able to take some solace in the box office bragging rights. After earning a measly $5.6 million on Friday, it still beat The Flash out there. A second win may be coming from strong audience notice. It earned an A on a cinema score out there. Not bad. I mean, even for a Pixar film, Bear keeps hearing, it's like a, what is it? Like an immigrant story type of deal. Kind of interesting. I don't know. But still, it's a Pixar film. Parents are going to take their kids, especially during the summer. What are we going to do? We got to put little Timmy somewhere. Go send him to Elemental. Let's see. And the film is also benefiting from a marketplace with slim pickings. That's exactly why The Flash came out last weekend for family audiences. While the film may end up on top of the charts, its current domestic gross of $53 million won't be able to expand enough to match, once again, another $200 million budget. Just flush that toilet right down the drain. Right on down that drain. They also have the Asteroid City, Wes Anderson movie. Kind of a quirky director out there. Has maybe about a third of the amount of theaters out there. I still did pretty well. $3.8 million, nipping on the heels of The Flash out there. Yes indeed. Great to see Grant here. Good to have Grant as well here. Let's see. If you have to compare The Flash, says Amy, to Green Lantern, you got troubles. You got troubles. That's right, Amy. That is true. So, anyways, there is that. Jennifer Lawrence just blowing away The Flash with hardly any CGI whatsoever. Boy, oh boy. Flash falling to turd out there. Falling to turd. That was from good folks out here at Variety. We got to keep this little Timmy busy somehow this summer, says Amy. And all of his comics keep disappearing for some reason. This is true. Little Timmy would be a very nice little boy if he had his... Well, actually, no, Bear keeps stealing it. Because little Timmy's kind of a jerk. Let's be honest. I know he's a little kid, but still kind of a jerk out there. Anyways, kind of wanted to bring in a little bit of a different flavor here. We've got the geniuses over here at Screen Rant. Let's see, what is this? Flash box office may crash harder than Shazam 2. I mean, again, we're comparing it to Green Lantern, Shazam 2. I've heard comparisons to Black Adam. None of those did really well. None of those did really well at all. So we'll see. Anyways, not nothing to do with Screen Rant here, but they do got a kind of a neat little thing here at the very bottom. Kind of talks about some of the upcoming release dates that we have coming up from Warner Brothers out there. Kind of like how they do this. It kind of makes it a little bit more easy to figure out. So next up on the slate, people, it's Blue Beetle. Oh, joy, Blue Beetle, which we've got stories there coming from Bounding into Comics here in just a moment. They're saying it's part of the DCU, so it's part of the whole James Gunn thing, and we'll talk about why that's important here. But we got Blue Beetle. That's coming up on what is August 8th or August 18th rather. So there you go. There's Blue Beetle. Who is excited for Blue Beetle out there? Literally, well, probably one person. Probably George Lopez. George Lopez is really interested in that. They underestimate, Grant says, people's distaste for funding criminals like Ezra Miller. Actually, one of the things that keeps coming up in places like, Variety or Deadline or something like that. The reason why The Flash flopped, it was because Ezra Miller wasn't on the red carpet. We didn't have enough Ezra Miller out there to sell the movie. It's like, are you people even paying attention to what's going on out here? The answer is no. No, you're not being paid attention to. Anyways, Blue Beetle, let's see, 8/18 of 23. And then we've got Aquaman, which is still part of the old Zack Snyder, the Snyderverse out there. That's coming in on Christmas of 2023. So this year. Then we get to next year. Bear may cause a little bit of stir here. Bear doesn't think that the Joker movies are technically comic book movies. It's got a comic book character in there in the Joker, and Harley Quinn, right, is in the second one. But it's not really it's a musical. It's a musical out there. So I don't know how many comic book movies are musicals or serious dramas out there. Ang Lee's Hulk notwithstanding, but anyways, that one is due in October of 2024, and then finally, in 2025, we get Superman Legacy. This is the James Gunn movie that he's coming out with. Then, of course, the Batman. Terrible. I'm making a second one of those. And that's not even part of the whole James Gunn universe there. So, craziness. Too many Batmans. All right, where is Bear going with all this? So you got Blue Beetle coming out. You got Aquaman coming out this year. You essentially have an entire year before the Joker comes out. Bear's not even counting this one, but let's just go ahead and count it just for fun's sake out there. And then you've got an entire year almost for Superman Legacy to come out. If you discount Joker and just count Aquaman, you've got essentially almost 2 years. Between Aquaman and Superman out there. So you basically have 2 years. Just think of it this way. You have 2 years between the Snyderverse and the, do we call it the Gunverse? I don't even know what we call it there. But anyways, there we got that. Trying to figure out, like, okay, you got that. And then you've got promotion for the Joker, even though it's not necessarily a DC James Gunn sort of joint there. And then you got Superman. 2 years. 2 years later. So what the hell are they going to talk about in the meantime? Like, probably casting. We're probably going to be talking about casting here pretty soon. Writers are on strike, which affected this one. James Gunn wrote Superman Legacy and basically had we'll just call it the first draft, put in right before the writer's strike. After the writer's strike, it's pencils down. You can't do anything. He probably still can because he's a studio head, but supposedly out there, pencils down. So we've got basically a first draft Superman movie coming out in 2 years. They probably are gonna have to announce some of the actors here in the next, I don't know, week, 10 days or something. I think the actors go on strike. It's like the first part of July, I think, if Bear remembers correctly. Good news. Actually, the Directors Guild, signed a new contract, but writers and possibly actors out there, still in limbo. So, anyways, we've got 2 years. Like, what are they going to talk about? They need to keep the interest up. Before they, at least Warner Brothers had a movie or two coming out each year. They can say, oh, okay, you don't like this movie? Well, you get to look forward to this next crap movie that we got coming up. Or in this case, what was it? Three movies? We had Black Adam was a little bit last year, but late last year. So more or less in that time frame, about a year, 3 movies. And then we're going to go dark for quite a while. At least a year with Joker. Probably 2 with Superman Legacy. So what might they be doing in those 2 years there? Oh, let's see. The Flash pitch meeting video is pretty... Oh, I'll have to check that out. Pretty funny. It's by Ryan George. Good deal. Let's see. Let's see. Amy says, yeah, who would have guessed it, right? They must have thought the media would have done a better job burying his crimes. Well, actually, they did. He only was charged for, what was it? He was like breaking and entering into his neighbor's home to steal alcohol. It's like you've got automatic firearms, you've got transporting a minor across state lines, you've got beating of multiple women in multiple states or countries. Yeah, I would say they buried it pretty good. Buried it pretty good out there. So, anyways, what the heck are they going to do for the next, let's just say, year or two out there? What are they going to be? What are they going to be doing out there? From our good folks at Deadline, let's see, Jill Goldsmith and Dee Dee Hayes. Warner Brothers Discovery, noisy week. I would say terrible week. Terrible week. From TCM, that's Turner Classic Movies, into Flash, to Netflix Talks. We'll talk about that in just a minute. CNN Chatter highlights media giants. Many challenges. Oh, the poor guy. The poor Z-Man out there. He's got so many challenges. Too many challenges. It's like, why the hell did I even buy this studio? What the hell's going on, man? News kept churning this week from Sunday morning till the end of Friday on the Warner Brothers Discovery front. Well, Deadline, you were completely radio silent for like 3 days until you kind of figured out, what the hell are we going to talk about with The Flash? It's terrible. The reason it's terrible is because Ezra Miller didn't go on the red carpet. He didn't go on to the multitude of Jiminy talk shows out there. What was it? Jiminy. I'm thinking of Jiminy. Jimmy, like, what was it? Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy. What's the other fat one? What's the other fat guy that jumped on the trampolines and all that sort of stuff? Anyways, that guy. Too many Jiminy's out there. Or Jimmys, I should say. Headlines includes, we should have Jiminy do a late night talk show. Where the hell is Jiminy, by the way? Headlines includes big changes at TCM. The Flash's disappointing box office. Discussions with Netflix for a potential streaming license deal. By the way, before it was Max out there, the Warner Brothers streaming, it was HBO Max. So their priority for people out there was HBO. They're saying, oh, HBO, everybody's going to come to our streaming service because they want HBO. Apparently they don't, because HBO or Warner Brothers is now streaming it, possibly to Netflix out there. More chatter around the fate of CNN. Renewed talk of a music publishing scale. Bears getting the hell of himself. And a glum industry report on cost cutting. The flurry, which touched virtually every corner of the Warner Brothers Discovery universe, came as the company announced it will reveal quarterly financial results on August 3rd. I know this is very exciting to you people, but we have a point here. We do have a point. The report will be the first to provide almost entirely apples to apples year-to-year comparison since the merger on April 8th of 2022. Ushering in a period of nearly nonstop flux. There have been cost cuts, layoffs, and content write-downs. That would be the Batgirl. In the service of a promised $5 billion in savings. $5 billion, people. That is a lot. That's no chump change out there. We're not like the U.S. military that just fights. Oh, hey, here's $6 billion. That was an accounting error, for crying out loud. Let's send it to Ukraine out there. They deserve it. There have been industry-wide shifts in the ad market, the box office, and pay TV ecosystem, and there have been multiple rounds of restructuring. Let's see. Amy says, oh, really? Something to add to Netflix then. My dad still likes his Netflix. Probably it should just be like Netflix that streams. Maybe like one or two other places like a Hulu or something like that. The idea of siloing everything where it's, okay, Disney just has its streaming service. Warner Brothers has its streaming service. Paramount has its streaming service. Whoever has their own streaming service, and yada yada has their own. It's like, okay, by the time you sign up for each one of those streaming services, if they want to even carry your show, hasn't been disappeared like Willow or some of the other ones, you're probably paying more for all of the streaming services than you would just for like cable. I think it's just going to go back to cable with like one or two different like streaming services out there. Oh, which by the way, pardon me here. Let me stream down and find it here. The reason why, the costs matter a lot to a company who has $49.5 billion in debt. $49.5 billion. At least they're not Disney. Disney is like several $100 billion, but $49.5 billion. They don't have that much revenue as Disney does either. So that's a lot. They took on a lot of debt to buy Warner Brothers, and they're trying to cut off at least $5 billion. So it'll be down to $45 billion. Yay! They're trying to pay down as much as they can. $1.5 billion for June out there. So a lot of cost cutting. But they need some revenue. Where might that come from? Let's find out. Let's see. They're talking about Turner Classic Movies. They had a little bit of a hiccup there. It's kind of interesting, though. The head chiefs. So you got the Z-Man out there, and then you got the DeLuca and Abdiby out here. They're basically underneath Zaslav, and James Gunn reports to them. So these folks, evidently, they're going to go curating on TCM. You don't really see studio heads curating movies on cable TV shows, but that's where it's led to. Let me see. Here we go. Streaming. Speaking of Amy, streaming continues to be a major storyline. Deadline broke the news that the company is in talks to license HBO content to Netflix, meaning it will raise cash from its libraries like the good old days before every company decided to get into the ring. So they're taking essentially the family jewels. Again, before they rebranded, it was HBO Max. HBO had all the content that they hoped that people would be kind of coming to their streaming service paying, I don't know, what is it, $9.99, $19.99? Max is like one of the most expensive ones out there. But anyways, they're taking some of that content. They're going to be licensing it to Netflix. This year's major streaming initiative has been the blending as well together of HBO Max and Discovery Plus in the newly named Max. Although Discovery Plus is still available separately, so what's the point? Warner Brothers Discovery told The Street in May that it's, if Bear remembers correctly, direct to consumer. I believe that's what DTC means. Would be profitable for 2023. It doesn't look like it. Doesn't look. They're gonna have to go back. They had an issue with essentially the credits. Like you watch at the end of the movie or the end of the TV show out there, you see the credits of people. The caterers, the makeup, the hair and makeup, blah blah blah. They got rid of all that. They basically just kind of put it like under a couple names and then just cut out a whole lot of people. So they're gonna go back each one of their TV shows or movies. They're gonna have to go through all of them, their entire library, and redo all that stuff. That ain't cheap, people. That ain't cheap. So it's not gonna be profitable. Not gonna be profitable at all. While Max has benefited from a Succession series finale, and the debut of And Just Like That. What the hell is And Just Like That? I don't know. This service has not wedded to exclusives as it once was. Why? Money. That's why. The licensing's talk. If they yield a deal, would be a major reversal from the previous trend of media companies clawing back rights to titles like Friends, The Office, some of the other ones out there, other signature properties they spent years putting onto Netflix, and others for a very hefty fee. Given the daunting economics of streaming, like owning your own servers and keeping it up, make sure it's not, down for any length of time. All that stuff's expensive. It's not like going to the DVD, going to the store and pulling out a DVD, other than just the shelf space. Servers, like even if nobody's watching your movie, it's still up there on the server and it still has to be, maintained with all that stuff. That takes quite a bit of money. Execs have started to come around to the idea of being flexible on licensing some shows, maybe movies, out of could be one of those proverbial win-win decisions in business. Everyone wants to know how anyone is going to make money in the move to streaming. Probably should have asked that before you spent billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. It seems utterly logical not to try to lock up everything and have it siloed. That was the thought. That, everybody's like, oh, well, just put it all onto HBO or Max, I guess now, Disney Plus, whatever. The business prospered for decades with syndication and a waterfall of revenue streams. Getting some notion of that back will only help. For much of the past year since DTC Red Ink began to terrorize Wall Street direct-to-consumer streaming, essentially, investors have favored more pragmatic moves into streaming. Netflix is selling ads, just like NBC in the 50s. Wow, what a great idea. Major media companies embracing the free ad-supported television. That's what FAST means. And licensing to big streamers. As Rich Greenfield of Lightshed Partners tweeted in response to the HBO Netflix news, the real question is, when does legacy media exit the streaming wars? Exit the streaming wars and just focus on their legacy of being arms dealers. And heading directly to Moscow, apparently. A similar crossroads, which, by the way, that actually is a good question. When do they exit, and what are the deals that they're going to do? So it'd be really interesting that Warner Brothers spent a whole bunch of time and money trying to put up a streaming service, and now they're going to exit that streaming service. I mean, you thought The Flash lost a lot of money. Holy cow. A similar crossroads is approaching for Warner Brothers Discovery in the sports business. Blah, 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 blah. We don't need to get into sports ball there, but same sort of thing. They want to keep people in the streaming, but, can you do it through a live stuff out there? Anyways, there we go. $4.95 billion in debt. Whew. Debt is by far one of Warner Brothers Discovery's biggest issues. And it's been chipping away at it. It's got let's just call that $50 billion. It's got $50 billion in debt, and it's paid off. It's chipping away $1.5 billion at a time. That's gonna take quite a while. Even if they're licensing it out to, Netflix and some of that other stuff. Their bill of $50 billion is going to be coming due. It's not soon, much like Disney. Disney's has more debt and it's coming due sooner. Warner Brothers has a little bit more time, but when you're putting out bombs like The Flash and some of the other stuff, Blue Beetle, we could probably. By the way, Blue Beetle. Let's just talk about that for just a second. Blue Beetle, part of the DCU. Blah 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 blah. Look at this. I mean, God, who wants to go watch this? This looks terrible. This just looks like somebody with a early 2000s video camera and Adobe After Effects got $15 and says, okay, and a suit from the Halloween store. Says, all right, let's have at it. That's exactly what this looks like. This guy wants to turn this into a trilogy. Good luck with that. This thing's gonna bomb hard. Anyways, they were talking James Gunn. The first DCU character is for sure Blue Beetle, and the first full movie is Superman. So anyways, they've got, what was it, like 2 years, a year and 11 months, I guess, between the two, between the first character in James Gunn's brilliant plan here, and 2 years later, his stuff's finally going to come out. I'm not sure they're going to be able to do that in time. I don't know. Let's see. Grant says, I think the future product placement in movies will pay for them. No, not even close. But the budgets and revenues will be lower. I mean, unless they find, they've got like the Barbie movie out. If they can find a way to make like Coca-Cola the movie, or I don't know, GM the movie, maybe. Maybe we'll see. No, that wouldn't come anywhere close, and that's kind of where we're getting to there. We need to lay the path first. We need to lay this path. Boosting. I know this is taking a little bit of time. We are getting there though. Boosting cash flow, by the way, is one way to pay down. Asset sales are another. Which is why it's been having conversations about selling all of part of its film and TV music library. So they're just talking about the music, like the Batman theme song, or maybe the like the Friends theme song or something like that. They're just talking about the music library now. How long do you think it might take before selling all the parts of its film and TV library? Which the company is said to value well north of $1 billion. That's a drop in the bucket. Your music library, drop in the bucket there. As with Paramount's Simon & Schuster, their manuscript novel company out there, the business is considered a non-core. No, your music library is part of your film and TV library. It is, in the audio-visual medium, it's half of it right there. It's not. It's part of the core, not non-core. Paramount can get by without having, a publishing company. They can get by with that. It's fine with them. They don't have to have Simon & Schuster. I mean, it's nice to have. If you have a writer come through, Simon & Schuster comes out with a great book. Hey, Paramount might have first look at whatever is coming out there. You can buy Batman, says Amy. Here we go. A Barbie movie, I have no idea what that's about, she says. I believe it's about Barbie. Grant says, I was thinking of the old movies where a housewife would be like, I use Comet for just about every difficult cleaning job, as she conspicuously holds up the box as a part of the show. Believe me, they've done that many, many times. What was there was it an Adam Sandler movie where it was Al Pacino? I think Al Pacino, when he was doing, right in the middle of the movie, just starts hawking, I want to say something like Dunkin' Donuts or Burger King or something like that. Literally the music stops, or maybe it starts, I don't know, and Al Pacino's just, dancing to the tune, just be like, yeah, go buy, whatever it was, Dunkin' Donuts or something like that. Yeah, believe me, they've go watch the 2016. No, actually, don't go watch the 2016 Ghostbusters movie. But yeah, plenty of product placement in there. Ugh. Let me grab a drink, people. Getting all tongue tied here. All right, let's get with the key part of all this. If there are any key objectives for the investors out there, it's to see debt reduction. So, okay, we're talking about $1 billion here. They're paying it down 1.5. So, okay, maybe a couple billion here or there. $50 billion, it's gonna take a lot to do to see some debt reduction there. With any acceleration through asset sales, welcome. CNN, they're talking about, is certainly another big ticket asset. So already, right there, they've already put out the trial balloon. CNN, right there. It's up for sale. Who wants some of this CNN action here? After they've literally fired everybody. Everybody. They should fire more people, but still. Let's see. Could be a prelude to a sale, they say. Officially, Warner Brothers Discovery has insisted that no such thing is afoot, even though they just put out that trial balloon in a major publication out there. No such thing is afoot. And the network continues to generate significant cash flow despite its diminishing footprint. What? CNN? No, come on, man. But observers familiar with the situation point out that not only would selling bring billions in reduced costs and managerial headaches, but it would also position Warner Brothers Discovery, and Bear has not heard this, Warner Brothers Discovery for a long-rumored merger with NBC Universal. By the way, that's all these people know. That's all they know. That's all Zaslav knows. Mergers, acquisitions. That's all they know. They say, okay, we're going to buy something, like Bob Iger. We're going to buy Star Wars, whatever. We're going to buy it, and oh boy. And then he buys Star Wars, and they make the movie, and they're like, all right, this is going to be great. And then Bob Iger's like, all right, you know what? I bought that thing. I'm out of here. And he takes his golden parachute and floats away, because that's all they know is mergers and acquisitions. They can't say, well, we're gonna buy Star Wars and make it better. No, they made it infinitely worse and reduced. I mean, if it was worth, what did they pay for Star Wars? Like $4 billion or something. If it was worth $4 billion, it's probably worth like 1.5 now, if that. Whatever George Lucas has in his couch cushions out there. So they're talking about merging with NBC Universal, whose news assets can never be allowed by regulators to coexist with CNN. By the way, let's just go there. I know some of you aren't necessarily Comicsgate or anything like that. We can kind of just put it under the kind of umbrella of, hey, we want things to be better. We want things to be better out there. So again, Comicsgate, not necessarily a political movement. It's got political elements to it, but it's not really a political movement out there. Probably if Bear had his way, I'd say one of the things that we should probably stand for would be basically trust busting out there. So bust up Warner Brothers and Discovery, bust up Universal, block any sort of merger out there, bust up Disney, take out Pixar, spin off Star Wars. God, we need to spin that off. Spin off any of these other places out there. That's what it needs to be, because when it all kind of combines into one kind of conglomerate's hands, then they can say, well, sure, you don't like our movies, but gosh, we're making all this money from all these other places that we don't have to listen to you. So that's what Bear would say. I'd say nix the merger and go in with some old Teddy Roosevelt trust busting out there. Anyways, jitters over advertising continued. Blah, 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 frickin' ad revenue, blah, blah, blah. The box office is also complicated. The Flash from Warner Brothers DC had a disappointing opening this weekend and is on track for a second week plunge of more than 70%. That would be 81%. With some dramatic flourishes. Doug Critters of TD Cowan called the numbers the last straw in cementing our belief that box office attendance will never recover to pre-pandemic levels or even close. This year, they're down 20%. 20%. The quality level of new releases doesn't appear to be primarily culprit. I would say that would be a pretty big part of it. Crate has added that 2 films simply underperformed relative to their IP and studio pedigree. That's what it did. Had nothing to do with the weirdo starring everything and couldn't be out there and all this other stuff, and just generally not a very good movie to begin with. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Unfortunately, this is consistent with what has generally been a disappointing summer slate. Warner Brothers down to $11.97. There you go, $11.97. All right. So what does all this mean? So they're trying to. Where was this here? They're trying to either one merge, or sell off. So, for instance, they gave the example here of CNN. Hey, we can sell CNN, and not only would we get some money. Oh, that whole regulators and blah 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 blah. If we're going to merge with NBC, 2 birds with 1 stone there. 2 birds with 1 stone. Well, that gets us back to a rumor. That, a couple months back with, I believe it was Bounding Into Comics, basically saying, hey, this whole James Gunn DC turnover here, It might just be a lot of fluffery, a lot of puffery and fluffery out there to make it look like, oh boy, the DC assets out there actually look pretty good, and then maybe go to, oh, I don't know, Amazon, Apple, hey, maybe Netflix out there, and maybe sell off the whole DC thing. So the whole year, 2 years between Aquaman and Superman here, kind of basically 2 years. You got Joker in there, but let's just say between Aquaman and Superman here, you got basically about 2 years there. Man, oh man, that rumor out there looks more and more promising. Come out. You've got James Gunn. He's writing, directing the new Superman movie. Oh, you got this whatever great actors that's gonna come out and be Superman out there. Rah 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 rah, and then sell it off. Why? Why would you want to do that? Well, I can probably give you about 50 billion reasons why. 50 billion reasons why. So, yeah, if their music is going to be selling, or I guess not selling. What are they saying? Licensed to. I'm trying to find it here. I'm sorry, people. For about $1 billion. What would DC? They might not even have to sell it. I can't find it here. They might not even have to sell it. They might just license it out. So let's just say, James Gunn still continues to do his own thing, but all the Elseworld stuff. Oh well, gosh, that doesn't fit in with our plans with DC and Warner Brothers. But hey, Netflix, you want to make a Batman movie? Let's license it out to you. Hey, Universal, you want to make a Flash movie? We'll license it out to you. Maybe we'll sell it to you. That way they can make a little bit of their money back out there. That's neat. But you say Bear, come on, man. Come on, Bear. They can't do that. I mean, comic book movies, they've been just, the past decade or decade and a half, they've just been the money makers out there. Money makers. They're printing money. From our good folks at Deadline out here. Peter White and Justin Cole. Maybe the upcoming Comic-Con. Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, Netflix, Universal Pictures, Sony Pictures. They all sit out the fan fest amid a labor unrest. The poor guy. Gotta watch out for that. Got a chainsaw on his head. Comic-Con is the latest event to be hit by Hollywood's labor issue. Coming July 19th, so they might not even have the actors there. If the actors go on strike, they might not have the actors there to actually go to the Comic-Con and promote the new movie or whatever. Might not do it. Universal Pictures, Marvel, we already talked about that. It comes as the Writers' Guild is currently on strike, having failed to reach its deal. They're still negotiating with the studios. As we revealed earlier today, it's a pivotal moment for the actors. There we go. The actors' contract is up June 30th, sooner than Bear thought. So let's see. The actors' contract is up June 30th. San Diego Comic-Con July 19th. So yeah, they might not have those actors there. Given the uncertainty, studios decided against planning a major presence in case the actors, as well as the writers. I don't think the writers are in that big of a demand there at Comic-Con there, but definitely the actors are unwilling to attend. Now, if we go back to The Flash, one of the things that they said was, it wasn't that he's a weirdo and, the film's terrible and everything. It was Ezra Miller wasn't on the red carpet. He wasn't out there at all the Jimmy's late night shows. He just wasn't there. He wasn't attending all that stuff. That's why The Flash did terrible. Well, a number of studios aren't going. So, were they thinking maybe their movies aren't going to do too well? That's kind of interesting. However, it looks likely that the directors, they did. Where was it? Right here. There we go. There they are. Blah, blah, blah. It also comes as a slew of other film and TV focused events have been impacted. And they go on, yada, yada, yada. They talk about all these different ones out there with the writer's strike, all this other stuff. So Again, one of the money printing places out there. Hey, you want to make sure that your movie does really well? Go to Comic-Con, announce it in front of everybody. They say, yeah, all right, Tiki Watiti's up there with Natalie Portman handing her the freaking hammer. And like, yay, all right, yay. Well, they're not going to be there. Marvel's not going to be there. Marvel's, man, oh man, that's a whole other show right there. We're just dealing with Warner Brothers here, but yeah, there we go. So, again, people kind of talk about superhero fatigue and all that other stuff. I don't think it has anything to do with that. It's just you've made terrible movies for such a long time that people have just given up. Or in the case of like The Flash or Aquaman, it's like, why would we go see this movie? It doesn't connect with anything. It's a dead end. It's a cul-de-sac. What's the point of going and seeing this? So a little bit of an issue there where, hey, Warner Brothers might be looking at some of this stuff and saying, hey, superhero fatigue, we've got a lot of debt. We need to pay some of that stuff off. It might be that they might be selling some of that stuff off. Anyways, that's Bear's opinion and nothing more out there. But there you go. They got the DGA. That's about it. You still got the writers and the actors out there. We shall see. So yeah, shoot. I mean, today's the 24th. So shoot, we might even see a Superman actor here in the next couple days. You never know. Because they got to announce the actor. They got to get them going before the strike. So at least they would sign the contract to say, okay, at least we've got, I don't know, so-and-so, whoever the new Superman is. At least we got them signed to the contract. We'll see. We will see out there. Why do they think, AB asked, that people like that actor so much? I'm assuming Ezra Miller. A lot of it isn't that, oh, wow, people like this certain person. Let's put this certain person in more films and movies and all that sort of stuff. Usually it's, hey, we need to promote a certain actor or actress, so let's put this actor or actress in so many films that they develop a catalog behind them to say, oh, wow, that actor or actress did really well. It's more kind of the push rather than the pull out there. Grant says, I have no idea. Even without being a degenerate, he doesn't impress me. Well, you're not the one to be impressed, sir. You're not the one to be impressed. It's the Hollywood clique out there. A Hollywood clique. Yes, indeed. All right, well, enough of this gibber. I could have done the Jamie Foxx story. Doesn't know what's going on there. But anyways, hopefully Jamie Foxx doing well out there. Haven't seen him in like a month or two. Haven't seen him in quite a while. Anyways, let's go ahead. Instead of complaining, let's actually talk about what we can do about it here. And that includes, from our good friends out here. Give it to it. Do the thing with the thing. Come on, Bear. Professional show. One of these days. If I can see it. There we go. Oh, of course, a blank screen. Why not? What the hell? Let's just start off with a blank screen, Bear. Just, they'll figure it out. This from your boy Zach out here. That would be lettering complete on the Will Jordan, aka the Critical Drinker, on a new kind of war. He says, hi everyone. Hiya, boy. Lettering is complete on the Critical Drinker's new kind of war. He says, thanks, Richard. Always brief with his updates out there. So anyway, he's got some nice artwork there, along with some lettering out there. I forget who is doing the lettering on this. I don't know if it's Eric Weathers. Eric letters too much out there, but it looks pretty good. Kind of an interesting. It's got kind of a watercolor theme, kind of going with the art style here. So looking pretty interesting. Page one, and it's in action here. In action. By the way, Bear hopes next weekend, next Saturday. What would that be? Is that the first? Hold on, let me find it. What would next weekend be? Come on. Yes, the first, people. The 1st of July. Probably gonna do a Rambo watch-along. So if you've enjoyed the first two, we're probably gonna go ahead and try and do Rambo Numero Trace out there. Numero Trace. Gonna try that. So we will see. Hopefully be able to do that next Saturday out there. So hopefully, if you enjoyed the last two, I hope to see you in the next one here. Just got done watching that the other night. Got everything all lined up and looking good. So great stuff on the way out here. Oh, and by the way, he actually had the covers as well. The Dale Keown covers. Dale Keown. Hopefully the whole pit situation got figured out. I still hadn't heard about that, and the PTP situation. I don't know what's going on with that. Whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. Speaking of which, people, finally the hats are in, people. We can finally become a hat group after all this time. We're finally get the hats in together, link hands, link arms together, and we're finally a hats group. From Uncle Yee out here. Hey, backers, hey! Just got word that the hats are in. They're in, people. We should be receiving them in the next few days to our warehouse. It is very exciting! Exclamation point. I'm going to close this campaign down soon. Yes, maybe Sunday? He's at the Garden State Comic Fest this weekend, so I can't do a proper closeout, but in the next few days, please get your final orders in soon. So if you want to join the hat group, make sure you get it in very quickly here. He says he'll have more news soon! Exclamation point. And that's from Ethan Van Skyer. Yes, indeed. Uncle E. Uncle E with the all caps comic and CG apparel. I think that also had the Malin comic in there as well. So he had some interesting shirts on there. I thought they were pretty cool. So if you want to go check out some Comic Gate themed shirts or hats, go check that out. Check out John Malin stuff as well. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good. Amy says, "Yay hats." Yay hats. Oh, good to see Melissa here. Great to see you as well. LOL, enjoy your shooty bang bang watch along. Well, Amy, you need to stop by. We're not watching the movie, so there's not going to be any movie being showed. It's mainly, let me see if I can bring it up here. What we did the last time. It was basically, I'm just going to pick one here. I don't have one in particular. Oh, shoot. There we go. This is actually the first one. The first movie here that we did. It's just basically screenshots that we did. So Bear's just, if you have the movie, you can kind of watch along with it. But, hey, if you don't have the movie and just want to kind of hang out with Bear, you can do that as well. So we just kind of go through the movie, basically with your boy Zach out there coming out with the new book, First Kill. Kind of a theme along with that sort of stuff. So hopefully you've checked out the First Kill book. If you have, come on by. Bear's going to be doing the shooty bang bang. Actually, watching it, it's there's lots of explosions for sure. They probably spent half the budget on explosions, but there's not really that much like gore or violence in there. I mean, there's a couple issues in there, but it's not really a violent film like you would imagine out there. Explosions, yes, explosions aplenty, but not so much like gore or anything like that. There's like one scene, kind of mid to late there, where Stallone's trying to heal himself, kind of an interesting way of healing himself. Other than that, there's not really any sort of squeamish violence out there. So anyways, check it out. Bear just kind of watches along. If you've got the movie, you can watch along with Bear, and if you don't, well, you can enjoy some interesting screenshots here. There you go. There is that. Let me get back here because we got one more, and we'll wrap it up. And that would be from Von Klaus. He says, good news from the trenches. Good news, trenchers. Good news. The printer is finally sending the books my way. They fixed the cover problem. I'll let you know when I receive them. He says, then I'm working overtime to send your books out. He was a little, I mean, again, it was his printer's fault, but a little bit late there, so I'm sure he's chomping at the bit to get that stuff. In fact, he says he can't wait, so there you go. See you soon. I'll be documenting everything, so expect a ton of cool updates ahead, showing the books and posters and more. Woo-hoo, he says. Feels good band. We broke 87K, another amazing feat, and I'm so happy, so proud rather, and happy people are loving Terror as much as I do. Don't let Homeland Security hear that. Oh, and he's got some nice little, let me bring that up. There we go. I forget the character's name there, but pretty cool. You know what else feels good, he says? Getting power back after being down for a while after a freak storm. Yeah, Bear had a thunderstorm the last time. I was wondering, I was like, well, I hope we complete the show here. I was down, but I'm back, baby. Rising in comics in full effect, he says. Thanks to all who supported Psycho Killers. It was a great campaign. And people bought up all of the original art. So cool to see that. I can't wait to sign these puppies, he says. See you in the trenches. Your fiend in comics, that would be the Vonster. The Vonster out there. So pretty cool. Hopefully we'll have word here next week or two about maybe when Terror in the Trenches comes out. Monster MD was great book, thick. I mean, he could have just split that book in half and would have been just fine. But yeah, Monster MD, great stuff. So go check out Vaughn out there. Yes, indeed. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream. What? Hold on. Pardon me, people. Do another test. Let's see. Does it test? It shows up. For crying out. YouTube! Crying out loud. I tell you what, people. Beer started the show. Like, okay, we're going to go stream, do the thing, audio record, all this other stuff. And then you go and it's like, we've received an error. It's like, what? Refresh. Still an error. Like, for crying out loud. Go back, restart. Bear can see everybody waiting on Bear. Hey, Bear, when are you starting the show? It's like, for crying out loud. That's why Bear was a little aggravated to start out here. Anyways, that's some good stuff there from the Vonster. From the Vonster out there. And, of course, Jamie Foxx as well. There you go. I don't know why we have Jamie Foxx up there. Anywho, there we go. So, people, I hope there's no hard feelings out there from everybody, especially any of the Flash fans. Not doing well. When your film drops 80% over the first weekend, not doing too well. Not doing too well. Anyways, let's see. Well, I don't know. Bear still has. It's still receiving enough information to maintain a smooth streaming. I don't know. Maybe the internet is going out on Bear, so that might be a good time. A good time to wrap it up for you good people. Great to see everybody out here, including Amy, VM as well. Haven't seen VM. I hope he's doing well. Grant, Amy, of course, Melissa. And let's see, anybody else? Oh, our Russian bots. They are back together, arm in arm. Not North versus South anymore. They've settled that civil war. The Russian bots are now peaceful once again. Yes, indeed. Well, once again, people, want to say thank you. I apologize about the YouTube streaming. I don't know if that's coming in and out for people. If you want, go check out Bear's archive. We'll have everything up there in the next couple days. But you know what? All this talk about no hard feelings is making Bear hungry. So he's going to head back into the woods. So until next time, people, grrr.